Good afternoon and welcome to Clone Conversation, your one-stop shop for all the world's hottest information on genetics. Today we have Dr. Amelia Thornworst, who is known as a cloning expert, to educate him on the wonders of cloning. How are you, Dr. Amelia?
Oh, I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Now before we start, can you please explain, what exactly is cloning?
Oh, of course. So, after years of my studies, I have found that cloning is the physical and exact replication of a living organism's DNA to make another of the same organism using the same genetic information.
Fascinating. So tell me, what do you do in the biotech division of the National Genetic Institute?
As chief scientist of my field, I observe every step that goes into cloning an organism and make sure my employees are correctly carrying out each step with care and precision. First, we confirm that the specified gene in DNA is separated from all other genes, so we know exactly what we're working with. Then, we get the proper cloning vector to support the replication of the gene in the new host cell, which the DNA has been inserted into. After that, the DNA encounters the host cell's plasmid vector and they mix. The now combined DNA and vector becomes a recombinant vector, which creates the proper host cell for the cloning to occur. Lastly, the host cell is isolated and watched as the DNA slowly is replicated and clones a living organism.
Sounds very interesting. So I'm assuming cloning has occurred before?
Oh yes, cloning has been occurring and been researched since 1885. But the most well-known cloning event was a cloned sheep named Dolly in 1996. She went viral across the world and made history as the first cloned mammal. Dolly was one of the healthiest clones made, but sadly died at a young age after living 6.5 years when she inherited the arthritis and the older diseases of the older sheep she originated from. This is one of the cons of cloning because when a living organism is cloned from an older organism, they tend to inherit the older diseases of the older organism and die earlier than they usually would. Another negative of cloning is the ethical concerns of whether it is morally right to create an identical copy of a living organism, especially humans. People consider that cloning is creepy and immoral, but what many people don't understand is that cloning only replicates the physical attributes of you and your organs, but it doesn't clone your personality. The mind is only developed by the person's environment, not their genetics.
So, are there any pros to cloning?
Well, yes, there are many pros to cloning. Cloning can be great for couples who are unable to conceive a child but desire to raise their own children. And cloning can also help prevent the extinction of endangered species such as animals or plants, as well as help clone a crucial organ that someone may need.
This is all extremely intriguing. I was told that you had an interview with farmer Jezebel Cornhusk to share with us today.
Oh yes, I do. I interviewed a farmer who discovered odd things when they were cloning their bananas.
Alright, roll the clip.
Yeah, so I've been harvesting bananas for quite a while now, and my gal told me that I could help speed up my harvesting process by using a method of cloning or whatever. So I took my banana plant, right? And I took this little part. It's not originally where the bananas grow from, but it still works, right? And she told me all about it. So I went and I put this part and I planted it in the ground. And it was growing pretty good, and the cloning seemed to be working really well until the cloned bananas started seeming really vulnerable and then caught diseases that made them look all brown and disgusting and stuff. And now my whole harvest died because the diseases spread to all of my crops. Cloning at first seemed really easy, but now it's just ruining my harvest. I think you fancy scientists should do a little more research before you start infecting my harvest and ruining my business.
So that all ties back to how cloning still needs research. What is the status of progress in your cloning research?
Currently, cloning is still a very delicate matter and is risky to perform. We are still focusing on cloning animals and plants now, but hope to continue working on humans human cloning in the future.
Alright, I just have one last question for you, Doctor. Has a human actually been cloned?
It is possible to clone humans, but we are still working out all the kinks, so it is not completely safe or achievable at this moment. But I believe that our technology will eventually advance far enough for humans to be cloned properly.
Never mind. Thank you for coming, Dr. Amelia Thornworst. Alright, that's the end of this episode. Thanks for tuning in, and we hope to see you next time.